and then you go be the star of the show. You go be Rocky. You go be Luke Skywalker. I'll be Yoda or Mickey, right? So that's what we want to do. Release power. In 1958, NASA was started. 1958. 2 years later, in 1961, John Kennedy gave the moonshot speech. 2 years after it was started. All right? And then, a short 8 years later, we landed on the moon. Now that's fast. You could set goals in golf. My son, who is now 12 years old, missed the cut on his middle school team 2 years ago in his 4th grade, and he didn't make the golf team. He set a goal. And then the year after that, in 5th grade, he made the middle school golf team. He made it again last year, and I have a feeling he's going to make it the next 2 years. Now you've got climbing Mount Everest. Who knows who climbed Mount Everest, right? Sir Edmund Hillary. Do you think Sir Edmund Hillary just said, they asked him a question, said, Sir Edmund, how'd you climb Mount Everest? He said, well, I just walking around. Found myself at the top of this mountain. No, the first time he did, most of the people died that he was with. Talk about a failure. But he went back and he did it, and he set a goal and he finished it. So what's the smart question? If goals are so important, how do I set them properly? That's the question, right? You got to know the formula. There's a formula. Once you know how to set one goal, you know how to set all the goals. So let's do some math. You're like, what are you doing math, Barry, for? You wasn't good at it, right? What's 3 times 4? Somebody. 12? Right? Easy, right? Quick. Let's hear it. Now, if I ask you to do that, there might be 1 or 2 of you that can tell me right now. No? Maybe. I don't know. But if I ask you to sit down and do it on paper, you could do it, right? Why? Because you know the formula. It's going to take time. Goals take time. People often ask me, say, Barry, you know, if I set this goal and it's going to take me 5 years, I'm going to be, and I'm 55 right now, I'm going to be 60 by the time it gets done. And I always ask them, well, how old are you going to be if you don't set the goal in 5 years? So that's the answer. You got to have these goals. There's a 7-step formula to reaching your goals. Now, I'm not going to show you the qualification because I don't have time. I teach this course, this workshop, it takes me 5.5 hours. Right? So, this is the step. Step 1, you have to identify the goal. And there's all this back work before we can ever do that, and I can't get into that right now. I just don't have time. Which is a lie that we tell ourselves the most, right? I don't have time. It's not lack of time, it's lack of direction. We all have the same amount of time. So how does Warren Buffett get more done in a day than I get done in my lifetime? He sets goals that are that way. So the second thing that you do is you have to identify all the benefits that you reach the goal. If you've got a health goal, right? You got to say, okay, I'm gonna. And where people get mixed up in this one is they always say, I got a weight loss goal. I think that you got to set it differently. You just want to be healthy. Weight loss. What if I set a weight loss goal? Anybody in here think I should set a weight loss goal today? I'm 176 pounds, 6 foot. The bad thing is I graduated at 143, same height. Right? So I don't need to set a weight loss goal. I have to set a health goal. Weight loss goals get played out. Healthy goals don't. So what we want to do is we want to list all the benefits of reaching that goal. So think about your goal. Think about the top 10 benefits that you're going to say. Because whenever you get discouraged, you can look back at all the benefits that you're going to enjoy. You don't pay the price for running. You don't pay the price for success. You pay the price for failure. You enjoy the price for success. So list all those benefits out. The next thing you do is you have to look at all your obstacles that you're going to, all the mountains that you're going to have in your way, all the obstacles. You know, we talk about the health goal. You know, they had that nice brownie in front of me. That's an obstacle. Because if I let myself get too hungry, there's no way I'm going to resist that thing. So I have to create a plan. It's going to be an obstacle. Lack of time. You're going to have time as an obstacle. So you got to list all the obstacles because they're going to come, so you might as well have a plan when they do come. The next thing you're going to say is, okay, step 4 is what are all the skills and knowledge that I need to do by reaching this goal? So you list all the new things that you want to learn. Here's the good thing. You probably already know everything you need to know about hitting your goal. You probably already have it right here. We just have to release that potential. The next thing is you need to identify the people. Who are the people in your life that you need to get with? You know, Mike Gardner's up here in the front row. He is my health guy, and he'll tell you that I fail on that more than anything. So I have to have people like that every day that say, did you do it? And yesterday I said, tweet, tweet. You know, I was cricket because I didn't do it. And it's his job to get me to do it. So there you go. Organizations. Who do you need to get with to see that? Then number 6 is you have an action plan. Once you have all that out, now we're going to create an action plan. Step-by-step approach to reaching that goal. The last thing is you set a lifeline. It's cut off at the bottom. It's a deadline, right? A lifeline. I'm not a negative person. I didn't go into photography because of all the negatives. So you have to have a deadline that you set and say, this is the day that I will achieve this goal. This is the thing. When you become a goal setter and an achiever, you are learning to train fleas. How do you train fleas? And I was going to play that video, but I don't have the sound set up for it, so I'll just tell you how you train fleas. See, when you have a bunch of fleas, and they're in this jar, right? And you have the lid off of it, these fleas are going to jump out of the jar. Anybody know that? But what happens is when you put the lid on the fleas, they're going to start jumping. And what they're going to do is they're going to jump and jump and jump, and they're going to hit that lid every time. They're going to jump and they're going to jump and they're going to jump. Pretty soon something crazy is going to happen. They're going to stop hitting the top of that jar. And when they do, you can take that top off, set it down, and the fleas will not jump out of that jar. Roger Bannister. Who knows who Roger Bannister was? Roger Bannister, the first person who broke the 4-minute mile. They said it couldn't be done. The doctor said your heart would explode if you tried. Roger Bannister said, no, 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 I'm a flea trainer. So what Roger Bannister done is he actually started working on breaking that 4-minute mile, and then he finally did. What's funny is, after he did, within a couple of months, there were about 20 people in the world who broke the 4-minute mile. See, the thing is what you need to learn from me is this. And she wants to come back to Casey County, right? Absolutely. You know what my dream was, is to come back to Casey County and speak. I had a dream way a long time ago to speak in the Casey County High School gym. Like I did it last week or something, right? 2 weeks ago. And that was my biggest dream, by the way. That was my biggest dream. Now, 2 years ago, I spoke to over 1,000 people at a place called Vision. And let me tell you, speaking to those seniors 2 weeks ago was more exhilarating to me than speaking at Vision 2 years ago. 100%. So what you get by achieving your goals is not as important to what you become by achieving your goals, what you are. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I believe that the Chinese bamboo tree is the story of us, it's the story of me, it's the story of you, it's the story of America. Anybody know about the Chinese bamboo tree? See, what happens is you take the Chinese, this little bitty seed, and you plant it in the ground. And when they plant the Chinese bamboo tree in the ground, you have to feed it, you have to water it, you have to nurture it, and you have to fertilize it for 5 years. So every day, and if you miss a day of feeding it, watering it, nurturing it, and fertilizing it,